Hello, my name is LaMonte Solomon, and today we're going to be talking about corporal punishment. I have a scripture, Proverbs 13:24, where it says, "Whoever spares the rod hates their children, but the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them." So that is a nice scripture that I feel goes well with today's presentation. Let's continue the show. First things first. The question is, what is corporal punishment? So, corporal punishment is defined as the use of physical force with the intention of causing a child to experience pain so as to correct their misbehavior. So, it's a way of redirecting students who apparently does something wrong. A typical state definition of it is the deliberate infliction of physical pain by hitting, paddling, spanking, slapping, or any other physical force used as a means of discipline. So, firsthand experience, I have experienced corporal punishment when I was in elementary, and that way was via paddle, the wood. So we're going to talk a little more about that today. And last but not least, the main thing that I want to point out is that it is left to the states. Through my presentation, we're going to see how it being left up to the states is very critical. And if you look to the right, you will also see that I have a video for the occasion brought to you by Method Man of the Wu-Tang Clan, Bring the Pain. I'm not going to play it, but you can look it up. Great song. All right. So we're talking about corporal punishment. One of the main questions is, where does it exist? Where is this happening? Today, it is legal and it is currently legal in 19 states, which is accumulating 38,775 schools, primarily located in the southeastern or south of the United States. After looking at some of the data, it says that 59% of the districts in these states did not report using any corporal punishment. So when it comes down to corporal punishment, it is clustered in that southern region, and some states are worse than others, primarily Mississippi, Alabama, and Arkansas. From the data, I also learned that those districts where corporal punishment is allowed, they really aren't high population districts in all the other states that allow it, but primarily in those three states that I just named, that's where it is basically in a stronghold. That's where corporal punishment is happening the most. School district superintendents and individual school principals basically decide whether to use corporal punishment as a form of discipline. So I wanted to highlight that to inform people that you play a part in where this exists. Yes, the school district superintendents decide. Who decides the district superintendents? The school board. Who elects the members of the school board? The community, the citizens. So we vote in those members in the school board, and they appoint the superintendents. And then, of course, with principals, there's a process for that. But there's never an issue to boycott a principal and to play a part in voicing who you believe should be the principal. So I thought that was a valuable piece of information to put out there. It says in total, 14 of the 19 states that still allow corporal punishment use it on less than 1% of their children in a given year. So that goes back to my previous statement about their specific districts where this is happening at a higher level, and in majority of the states that still allow it, it's not really happening at a high rate. All right, so what are some corporal punishment concerns? So I have this information and some key points also on some other slides, but we're going to start with these. If you look right there, I have where it says that's a paddling. So I wanted to add that because the first point, in other words, corporal punishment could be looked at in a different context. The act of an adult hitting another person with a board of this size would be considered assault with a weapon and would be punishable under criminal law. So when it comes to corporal punishment, we mentioned the paddle, similar to the guy in the image having. They have specific dimensions of a paddle that is allowed. But what they're saying is basically when you get to hit somebody with an object, that could be considered assault, a crime, on a regular day. And it could also cause serious injury. My next point, there's no consensus as it relates to the severity of the student's behavior, and it is not a last resort for every school. I know they did a study where some schools would paddle students for excessive talking, running in the hallways, more simple things, whereas others would paddle due to fighting, disrespect, profanity, things of that nature. So there not being a consensus on when corporal punishment should be inflicted is a serious problem that leads to something even bigger. In 2014, the U.S. Department of Education and the U.S. Department of Justice issued a widely report stating that racial disparities in suspensions and expulsions, it has the potential to be used in a discriminatory fashion. So the same way that we have racial disparities as it relates to suspensions and expulsions, it is the same thing when it comes to corporal punishment. It can be misused. All right, so that's going to take us to our next point. What does the data suggest? So the data, short and simply, suggests that there's a disparity between race, sex, and when it comes to students with disabilities. From my research and just from analyzing the data, there's a disparity when it comes to Black males with disabilities. In Alabama and Mississippi are at least 51% more likely to be corporally punished. Well, 51%. In Alabama and Mississippi, Black males with disabilities are at least 51% more likely to be corporally punished than white children. They're more likely than white students to receive corporal punishment, regardless of whether the schools are majority Black or majority non-Black. So, in that GIF that I have on the screen, you got it bad by Usher. It doesn't matter where you are when it comes to this subject. It seems like Black males with disability, people of color, are subject to this more than others. What does the data suggest? It also suggests that some schools are in violation as it pertains to federal laws, violating 3 main federal laws, all dealing with discrimination. Under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, discrimination by race, color, or national origin. Title IX, based on gender. Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, discrimination resulting of a disability. So even though, the corporal punishment is meant to improve situations with students, but at the same time, who it is subject to is putting structures at risk, I would say. The data also suggests that it is not making an improvement of the children's behavior. So, since the late 1970s, it has been on a decline. 25 states have banned corporal punishment from public schools between 1974 and 94, the year I was born. It states that the ones that continue have a greater percentage of children in general population, higher rates of child poverty and child mortality, lower college graduation rates, and lower per pupil education expenditures than states that have banned school corporal punishment. So it also results in negative consequences down the line. So corporal punishment seems to be a instant gratification to handle situations, but down the line it creates more issues for that child, that student, whether it's stress, emotional damage, physical damage. It brings those issues into play. So in this one I have you big dummy, because as educators we're supposed to be the smart ones making decisions for the betterment of our students, but with corporal punishment we may be the ones that are dumb. This is the list of states in order by the year. I thought this was very good information to see just where states were when it came to this issue. Last but not least, how does the future look policy-wise? Well, with the state legislation, there have been bills allowing parents to opt out or opt in for corporal punishment. With the schools that have the option to opt out, if you do not complete the form opting your child out, then by default they are opt-in. There have also been bills to abolish all school corporal punishment, reintroduced in the 2012 through 2013 legislative session and 2014 to 2015 session, but neither bill has came up for a vote. On the federal level, federal legislation introduced the Ending Corporal Punishment in Schools Act of 2015. With this act, it was basically incentivizing public schools that receive funding by the state to abolish corporal punishment in order to continue to receive funds. And then last but not least, reconsidering a Supreme Court decision, Ingram versus Wright. One of the main points pointed out during that case was the court could not discern no trend toward its elimination. At the time, majority of the states were in favor of corporal punishment, but now today, majority of the states are opposing corporal punishment. So the odds are more in the favor of totally abolishing it on a Supreme Court level. So hopefully with this presentation, I've given enough information, valuable information as it relates to corporal punishment. And I hope you all have a nice day. Go back and check out that first video. See you, chat.